class. As we go into our phase 1 of our art project, I want to make sure that we keep in mind to number 1, always try your best. 2, if you get frustrated, go ahead and give yourself that little break to take a deep breath, count to 10, take a deep breath again, and try it all over again. Give yourself that little break. Number 3, everyone's art will turn out differently. Your artwork is uniquely yours, so it's not going to look like mine. It's not going to look like a friend of yours. It's going to look like yours. So give yourself that little peace of mind and know that it's uniquely yours. Number 4, art is not perfect. This is something that I struggle with sometimes, so I just want to make sure that we all know that art is not perfect. We will try our best to make it that way, but know that if there is an imperfection, that's what makes it so special, right? If there's some little mistake that you can say, oh, that's a little touch of the artist, give yourself that idea that art is not perfect. It's okay. And number 5, most importantly, have fun while we're at it. Have fun while you're doing this, okay? Art, remember, is a form of expression. We can express ourselves through our own paintings and through our own drawings or creations. So make sure you give yourself that to have fun. All right, so what we had started with last week was getting a chance to look at different forms of fish, different types of fish, different colors that we are using here. So I want you to get a chance to look at all these bright colors that we see, those different shapes. Here we have, with our lesson that we had done prior to this with lines, working with lines, we see different forms of lines. We see these curves, right, within each design of the fish. We see this crisscrossy or shaped as a triangle. We see patterns in the clownfish from orange to white, orange to white. We see these wavy curves as we are working with our sea anemones, the coral reefs, those sharp spiky lines. We have some clams here. So get a chance to look at this. And then we have multiple options here. We don't only just have fish in our marine life, but we also have our sea turtles, right? And again, those clams. We have some whales here in the back. And here we have a little close-up to those. This humpback whale here, that shape facing forward. Maybe it's going up to get some air. We have our dolphins right here. Some penguins. And then look at this tall, tall seaweed here at the bottom of our ocean. Here we have a little bit more busy. Looks like there's various types of schools here of fish. And we see that our ocean's surface is a little bit closer than the ones before. So we still get that little design of maybe the surface of the ocean is right above. Here we see some more shells, some more clownfish, a starfish. All right. So those are the colors, the types of fishes that you guys can get a glimpse of as we begin, as we continue our warm-up. So what we were working on last week was starting with different forms and different shapes of fish. I want you to go ahead and pull out that shape that we were working on. If you do not have it with you, go ahead and grab a new copy paper and go ahead and start off with creating those simple circled oval shapes to make the bodies of our fishes. I want us to get a chance to look at some more and create different kinds. So I finished off here with creating the bodies, the tails. I didn't get to add the tail on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and make it more of a curved tail, and it's kind of crossing to the other end. And it's gonna have that little fin texture. And then now that we've got these tails on each, and remember, this is just the warm-up. This is just to give you an idea of what kinds of fishes you can make. You can make them smaller, a little bit more plump, a little circular, or bigger and have them more ovular. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add my fin. For this one, I think since it's our big guy here, I'm gonna go ahead and add that top one all the way to the very end of that tail to touch maybe a little bit not so far end. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make sure it looks a little scaly here, so I'm gonna give it those lines. And remember, again, this is where you can come in and create any different type of pattern. Maybe you have an idea of a different type of fish that you want to go ahead, but this is going to be my example here. This is where you're going to come in as your own artist and add your own touch to that. And then I'm going to add this big fin right here at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead, since I started with the striped pattern here, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the bottom part. Give it that consistency of pattern. Okay. For this little guy over here, I can go ahead and give him a nice little mohawk fin. And since I have this like uphill kind of pattern, I'm gonna go ahead and make a continuous pattern here. Kind of looks like a rainbow. And then I have to add the side fin here. Add the little shapes. And then have the other fin on the other side of my fish. Might not see all of it. Do more of a curved line. And that fin could be coming off the paper. I might not add any design onto that part. Keep it simple on that one. More a triangle figure. Do these lines vertically. Okay. And same thing for the fin as I did for the one up above. I'm gonna do the bottom fin. No pattern inside, just gonna keep that blank. And as we go in and introduce colors to this, you can make that a whole solid color versus a different lined color if you're gonna go ahead and add detail to that. Okay, and so this is just my warm-up, giving myself an idea. I, again, will post up these pictures so you guys can see different types of fish here that you guys can see. We have some coral because we will also be adding in some habitats for these fish. So you gotta add that coral, the seaweed, so you get that idea. And so for us to practice, do a little warm-up on that, I'm gonna go ahead and grab another piece of white paper, and you're gonna go ahead and grab one as well. If you do not have one, pause the video and go ahead and grab one for yourself. And so what we're gonna do next is practicing on how to draw this coral, this seaweed. So I'm gonna go ahead and show that again. Go ahead and get a look at the different textures. It's a little bit more busy here. So it looks like it might be a very a rough texture on that one. And as you see, these are a little bit more curved up, taller. And you see, none of these have perfect straight lines. So give yourself that idea that you can just have fun with this and keep going up and down. And look, like we have like these rocks that are covered in whatever sea life is at the bottom here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give myself practice. I know that on my picture, I'm gonna want some very big, tall seaweeds. So what I'm gonna do, instead of having this horizontal, vertically, I'm gonna go ahead and rotate it to have it hamburger style horizontally. And I'm gonna go ahead and starting from my bottom, I'm gonna make myself a big line all the way to the top. It's gonna be curved. And I'm gonna bring it back down. And it's not gonna connect all the way to the bottom, and I'm just gonna roll right back up a little bit more towards the left and bring it back down. And I'm gonna make it like it has little branches coming out of it. Maybe this one's a little bit skinnier, a little thinner. And then I'm gonna have another one over here. One small one below. Maybe another small one down here. And then you can go ahead and, if you want, go ahead and add little lines inside to give it that texture. It's not so smooth. Maybe I'll add another one over here. Right. Okay. So this is just me warming up, getting an idea of what I want my seaweed to look like. Okay. And if you've run out of space on this front cover, remember this is your warm-up, so you can just go ahead and flip it over. And if you want to go ahead and give yourself practice to do a rock at the bottom of our ocean, and you know that the rock might be covered with some coral, give yourself like a little bush of coral here. Might make it a little bit more bumpy on this one. Right, and then you can add some design to the rock. That rock is not going to be perfect. It's going to have those ridges from many, many years of being pushed around down below in the ocean's bottom. Right, so I just added some lines to give it that texture. Okay. And again, I'll post pictures of these drawing aids so you guys can get more ideas of different types of fish. Here we have a front view of the face, that nice front profile of this fish, so you can see more of the lips, the eyes, and you can see it looks like it's swimming towards us. Many of these are just side profiles, right? And then at the very back, we have a little bit more of what this kelp looks like. Here, the green algae, some sea lettuce, that looks fun. All right, so you guys will get a glimpse of what that will look like. So once you are done warming up, once you think you've given yourself enough practice with drawing out some practice fish here and some practice kelp and algae, you guys can go ahead and pause or stop this video, because you guys are, for our next phase, you guys are going to get to draw your final ideas onto your big white chart paper. So you're going to need to bring this out. This is what I had sent out in our packet with our paint, your big white chart paper for the next phase. Okay, I will see you guys for the next one.